I find it hard to believe, brothers and sisters, that the local 353 administration would go the route and implement such a program with such an elaborate plan, including government participation, that allowed the contractors to use cheaper workers that would displace, in effect, journeymen, and then shelve it because the contractors were not participating. Can Stephen Martin make a clear declaration about what he meant by saying the program was shelved? And if he means he will bring it back into play if he's elected? I think it's only fair at this time that the local 353 membership gets a clear answer from him. These types of programs have been pushed upon local unions elsewhere in the IBEW under the understanding that they would only be used on projects in markets that the contractors in the jurisdiction were not competitive in. In reality, once established, the lower cost workers start showing up on all kinds of jobs, including large industrial, commercial, and institutional jobs, as well as powerhouses and nuclear power facilities. Does anyone working in high-rise or low-rise believe that if these classifications are allowed in some sectors, they will not make their way into their sectors? Solidarity is a word that is closely related to equality and fairness. Once lower paid classifications are allowed to enter the workforce and compete with traditional classifications like journeyman wiremen and registered apprentices, it will be the beginning of the end for the JW classification and our traditional apprentice, indentured apprentice programs. Stephen Martin clearly stated that he believes that the internationally trained bridging program was absolutely the right thing to do. In my opinion, it was absolutely the wrong thing to do, and not the right thing to do. We should be very careful about protecting the status of our licensed registered trade, brothers and sisters, and the integrity of our fair and equal pay scales that defines journeyman wireman that is able to do all facets of electrical work. Brothers and sisters, please think carefully about what I have said, because I believe this issue can define our future one way or the other. So thank you very much for watching this. I managed to get through it, and I probably will put this on YouTube the way it is, because I don't like editing. And let me quote a friend of mine on the internet, Herman Benson from the Association for Union Democracy, when I pointed out small typographical errors. He said to me that including errors shows we're human. I agree. Everyone makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. And I could probably do this again and edit it and try to make it better. But I probably wouldn't succeed. So, you know what? I'm leaving it as it is. I really mean what I said about producing some other videos. There's some specific issues I want to address, especially with the low-rise house wiring sector and some of the things that happened at their meeting last year, their ratification meeting, and the contract that they accepted by a very narrow margin, and some of the issues that happened at their meeting. I also want to talk about our pension plan in more detail and explain about some of the terms that are being used, such as smoothing. Smoothing is a term that some pension plans use to offset deficits with surpluses, or vice versa. Our pension plan trustees have introduced smoothing at a time when they're using it to offset deficits. And at first it was a 3-year smoothing. Now it turns into a 5-year smoothing. What that means is we're offsetting losses, but those losses are reflected in the solvency deficiency, which I say is so important. It's important for us to see the fact that our pension plan assets are diminishing despite market investment gains and high contributions. Now, I've heard the actuary explain this off with long-term interest rates. I buy that to an extent, but I don't think we have enough specific information to be able to gauge whether our funds are being invested properly. And I understand managing the fund means managing the fund in good times and bad, but I'm absolutely convinced we have to have full accountability. We have to watch over our pension plan. We should not accept confusing data presented in a way that's not comprehensive. Comprehensive means basically understanding it clearly. And there's a law that has been changed, or in the process of being changed. I believe it's called Bill 120. Apparently it's going to take effect in July sometime. And I based my question on the solvency deficiency on the effect that legislation change will have on our pension plan, because I believe, if I understand it correctly, it'll allow the regulators to make the pension plan make certain changes. Now, I understand we have a special a SOMEP, Specified Ontario Multi-Employer Pension Plan, which doesn't require us to address solvency deficiencies. In my discussions with certain Local 353 trustees, they keep referring to that as the solution for the types of questions I'm asking. I understand what that law means, but I also want to have the facts, and I believe you should have the facts. My purpose here is to make you understand my opinion that we have not been given the facts, not as we should have. So, I'll leave it at that, brothers and sisters. Good day. If I don't see you again here on YouTube, I will hope to see you on Election Day. Make it out, make sure you vote, and hopefully you'll give me your consideration. Thank you very much.